Hello, welcome to the Capitol Theatre and Capitol Connects. Join us as we connect artists, business, and our community.
Hello, I'm Susan Furley. I'm Artistic Director of Capitol Theatre in Port Hope. With March 8th being International Women's Day, we thought we would offer a series of chats with women in the arts. Today, I'm joined and chatting with Olivia Sinclair-Brisbane, an actress that audiences here might know because she was in the production of Million Dollar Quartet here at the Capitol. Hello, Olivia. Welcome.
Hi, Susan. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is a great treat for me, having an opportunity to chat with artists and get caught up. So thank you. I just thought we'd start with your journey. Certainly an actress, singer, performer. And I know our history goes back because I remember you as a very young person playing one of the orphans in the production of Annie at Grand Theatre in London, Ontario. So you've come a long way. Do you want to talk about your journey?
Absolutely. It doesn't always feel like it's been a long way, but I guess it really has. Like you said, my first professional performance, I was one of the orphans in Annie at the Grand Theatre when I was 12 years old. I am no longer 12. I'm not going to say how old I am, but not 12. And after doing it at the Grand Theatre, I realized and my family realized that this was something that I could keep doing and that it was a viable position. I could make money off of it and be happy and still go to school. So I then went to St. Mary's School of the Arts. And then from there, I went to HB Beale and CCH for the arts in high school. And then I went on to Sheridan College to get my bachelor's in musical theater performance. And I finished that. And then since then, I've been lucky enough to perform for the Grand Theatre twice. I got to be in Buddy, the Buddy Holly story, which you directed, and then Cabaret, the musical in 2019 as well. And since then, I've done quite a few things. I really would love to work in almost every single regional theatre in Canada. I haven't quite made it that far yet, but we've gotten a few provinces ticked off. So now I'm here at the Shaw Festival in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And I've been part of the Shaw Festival for over a year now. But I've also branched into some television and commercials and voiceover acting, which has been a very, very fun experiment. Yeah.
Great. Oh, good for you. Lots happening. Great to know. I love these chats because I get to catch up. So
Yeah.
that's great. As a woman in the arts, can you identify a woman who maybe has inspired you? Maybe it's someone who you've seen perform, or maybe it's someone you've encountered in your journey.
Wow, there are truly so many, and there are a few that I've been inspired by, whom just because I've seen them on screen or seen their reputations on stage, like Audra McDonald and Cynthia Erivo. Eartha Kitt was huge inspiration for me when I was young, but there are a few that I've encountered personally. And actually, the woman who played Miss Hannigan in Annie at the Grand Theatre, she was so inspirational. She was so caring, and she really did take me under her wing because I was a bit of a nerd. I was a bit of a loner. I didn't really know how to get along with people, even in a rehearsal setting. And she really took me under her wing, and she showed me what we're supposed to do on the 5-minute break and what you're supposed to do backstage and how to carry yourself and how to behave as well and to be a good actor in the room. So she really, I really look up to her so much. And there's so many stories like that where it's someone that saw that even though I'm pretty young, or I was pretty young when I was doing a show, they looked at me and they said, "No, you're here to work." Charlotte Moore, when I did she's Charlotte Moore. She's phenomenal. She's a legend. But when I did Cabaret, and people kept saying, like, "You're so young to be playing the MC and a female MC. Oh my goodness!" And Charlotte, one day in our dressing room, she said, "Olivia, you know what? You came in and I was like, damn, she is young, but you came into work. You didn't even think about the people that you're working with right now. You came into work, and that is what I respect the most. And that is probably the biggest compliment I've ever had in my entire life, and I'll never forget it.
Right. Oh, lovely. Lovely. How about, like, obviously that was Charlotte's advice to you. Was there any other advice you might have received that's been valuable?
Yes, I've definitely received a lot of advice in the past. And there's one piece of advice that I actually received quite recently, um, from the amazing Kimberly Rampersand. She is phenomenal. She's a powerhouse. She is so kind-hearted. She will get the best from you, but also let you bring your entire self to something. And it's so wonderful. And she wrote me a little card on my birthday, because I don't like to celebrate my birthday, but she very politely was like, I will celebrate you, even though you don't want to do this. She says, tells you always to be brave and bold. You get to bring your entire self to something. Don't be apologetic about it.
Mm.
And you will fall, but they will catch you. Just take chances and really, really be bold. She's absolutely phenomenal. I'm probably paraphrasing, but she's
Yeah,
always done such a marvelous job of being so inspirational.
right. Now, you've been out of theater training for a while and working in the profession. What would be advice you might give to someone now?
Some advice that I would give to someone, especially a young woman of color, that I wish someone had told me when I was younger, was not all of the advice that you get or everything you are told is law. You can take what people tell you and keep what serves you, and the rest of it you can just brush aside. It doesn't all mean that you have to do everything or have to listen to what everybody says. If you find that it helps, go ahead. But if somebody says something to you and it doesn't necessarily serve you, like you're not right for this, or maybe you're not going to get this, or maybe try this later, you're too young, etc., you don't necessarily have to listen to that. You can do whatever you try to do.
Great, great. I think that's fabulous advice, right? I remember, after I got through training, there was, I was doing things the way I'd been taught. And then upon reflection, realized I don't necessarily agree with that particular
Yes.
aspect of work, of how
Yeah.
the work had been offered, So
Yes.
great advice.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
works for others might not work for us, and that's okay.
yes. Yeah, great. Was there a moment when, and there may have been more than one, but a moment when that you can recall going, yes, this is what I should be doing. This is where I belong. Can you
Yeah.
place that? Yeah.
I actually can, and it takes place, I swear, all of my formative memories as a performer take place at the Grand Theatre and are usually under your tutelage. That when I played Reno Sweeney in the high school project, that was my first lead role in anything ever. And I remember the director, Heather Davies, absolutely wonderful. She's someone else who inspires me very, very much. She had had a hard time coaxing me out of my shell. I was still very shy. I wasn't used to being a large role. And so in the rehearsal room, I was having a hard time, and she was getting me to open up and really take the space. And I was still having a hard time doing that. And then I believe it was either a dress rehearsal or our first rehearsal with lights and an audience on the stage. And we go through everything, and I get to that moment on stage, and I'm on my spot, and the spotlight hits me. And it was like everything opened up, and the world was my oyster for the first time. And everything just calmed down, and I became an entirely new being.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I know that the stage is where I belong. It's just where I have to be, that space. It's like the room widens, but it doesn't feel like a stage anymore. It feels like you're talking to everyone, whether they're in the back row or they're sitting right in front of you.
What a great moment to recall, right? And you can summon it back.
Yeah. It was so, I remember it so specifically. I remember what I was wearing. I remember the blocking. I remember the set. It just really, I come back to that moment often because that actually was a time in my life where I was thinking about possibly leaving the theater.
Mm.
So I really do cherish that moment.
Yeah, lovely. Now we've been living through these challenging times.
Yes. Yeah.
But rather than talking about the challenges, has this time offered you any gifts, any opportunities that you might not have had otherwise?
It has. It really has. In a small, well, large to me, but a small way. Because I'd been performing I was lucky enough to perform quite regularly in 2019. I hadn't actually gotten to be home for Christmas or my birthday or anything like that in almost 2 years. It was a very long time. My poor family thought I didn't exist anymore. So I actually had the opportunity to spend a whole month at home with my family, and it was very, very lovely. I cherished it a lot. But other than that, I also got to start really exploring what I want as an artist and what being an artist means to me. That's something that I'd never really delved into. I'd always been so happy to be an actor. I'd never wanted to get into directing or writing. That was never something that really spoke to me a lot. But I found myself sitting and wanting to create something for myself. So I really delved into that, and I did start a lot of writing for music, actually, which has been very, very fun and very cathartic. But beyond that, I also branched into some TV and film and started auditioning for a lot of commercials, as everyone does, and I booked a few of them. And then I found that I've always loved listening to audiobooks and how those stories are told just with the voice and voiceover. And so I looked into that, and I actually was able to start working as a voiceover performer.
Olivia, that's great. That's great. I mean, yeah, it's such a wonderful way to engage with text and telling stories simply, as you say, with voice. Yeah.
Yes,
Great.
it really strips everything away, and you get to delve into if I can't use my whole physicality necessarily to illustrate what's happening in the story, how does that affect my voice? How does that go into my voice, and how does that come out into the character? How do you do that? And I was able to do it for some commercials and working on doing it for books. It's very, very, very wonderful work, and I'm hoping to do it for a lot of children's novels.
That's great. Well, congratulations. You're doing so well. Great pride. My heart swells. So it's been lovely to have this opportunity to talk, to chat, and get caught up.
Anytime you ask, I will always be here. I very firmly believe almost every time that I've thought, you know what, maybe I'm just not up for this. You have brought me out of it. And it's always been you saying, well, hey, I'm thinking about maybe doing this. Do you want to maybe come sing? And I say yes, and something works out. So you're my guardian angel and good luck charm.
I'm delighted anytime. Anyway, take care, my friend. And thank you for this.
Thank you.